Hey folks, welcome back to the farm. I apologize for not getting a video out a while back. I started videotaping and I was messing with the app that I recorded, and I accidentally deleted the files that hold my video files. Long story short, boring stuff, but I deleted them. So I'm coming to you now. I had some files of us ridging some corn. We're still in the process because, as you well know if you've been following, we got corn kind of all over the place. This got hailed a little bit, but we didn't have to replant. So this is about how it's kind of knocked it back a little bit, but it's still doing okay. But today I am irrigating some pipe. I'm 4 in, so I got a little system going. Why we have to irrigate it is over time these gates wear out. This is what they look like. This is the inside of what goes inside the pipe. This is kind of a rubbery edge. I don't know if you can see that there. And then the center is plastic. It's a rectangle shape. It goes in there like that, and it'll slide in and out. And when that pipe pressures up, it seals that, pushes that rubber up against. But what happens over time, so I'll show you, is obviously things wear out, get old, and that is super hard and doesn't seal very well anymore, causing it to leak. So I'm out here replacing some of these gates. I'm just gonna do a box full, which is 200 gates. I'm not exactly sure how many pipes that'll do. I think there was 18 gates per pipe, so I'll let you guys do the math. Here's my pile over there. I'm just pulling off it, putting it on the trailer. That way it's already on the trailer. And these will be the ones I want to put out last, because that's where it kind of all flows to it. There's the well. It'll kind of slightly slope downhill. And I want to put these pipes kind of where they're going to be at the bottom of the hill, where they're going to cause the most pressure. And hopefully these will seal up, causing it to give the rest of the pipe more pressure, allowing me to run more gates without losing water that way. I'm just trying to be more efficient, but things wear out, unfortunately, and then you got to go replace stuff. This is plastic pipe right here. There's also aluminum. Me personally, I prefer the aluminum if you're asking, just because it lasts longer, works a little bit better. Plastic tends to get a little more brittle. It works fine. I just don't like it near as much. I don't like any pipe really at all, but if I was to ask me, I like aluminum. So I'm gonna get this. I don't know how many joints I'll be able to do, like I said, but it'll be enough to make a difference on this field, and then maybe next year I can do the rest of them, see how far we go here. So we'll be laying this out shortly, so stay tuned. Well, it'll be shortly for you. For me, it might be a day, or hopefully by tomorrow I'm laying this out with the others. I guess while I'm here, I might as well show you how I do this. So I already strung out that, set it on the pipe trailer, go over this. Kind of slide these back over. Hopefully I don't do that, but I'm one-handing it, folks. Alright, so this brings up another point. See how some of these pipes are gated differently. This one's every 20 inches. Notice how this one's every 40 inches. That's another thing about pipe, is some of them, the gates are spread apart, which technically if you don't need that many gates, that's better. But what I don't like about 40-inch gates is it's spread too far apart. Sometimes on 30-inch rows, you're always digging out a row. So that's the setback of 40-inch gates. Back in the day, a lot of the farms out here were 40-inch or a 36-inch row. So this was fine, but nowadays everybody's a standard 30-inch usually around here, which helps with the 20-inch, so you got a little more options. Kind of describe that a little bit. Hopefully you guys can hear me fine. It's windy again. Then I take my standard pipe deal that takes them out, drop them, and I'll pick all these up later. It's just quicker to do it this way. You just snap that tab out and it drops them. And we go from there. These you can tell are even older yet, the yellow ones. Sorry, hit you guys. So that's how that goes anyway. On to the next day, we're heading out to a pivot that I got to work on. It's that big long one, for those of you who know. We pump a fluid through it, and it's also got a few rust particles inside of the tower because the pipe inside's kind of starting to rust out a little bit, so it tends to plug some of the early nozzles on the pivot frequently. And so I found a couple different options, and we're going to try those out today. I got started on putting them together, but hopefully that'll kind of reduce the amount of nozzle plugs at the beginning of the pivot, because you know, you swing that big thing around, that creates a lot of acres that is unevenly watered, and that can be an issue. Also, it's got a pivot boot on it that joins the two towers together. It's the rubber piece that kind of seals that up so water can transfer through one tower to the other. I replaced it, and I had the wrong size of boot. Valley in all their glory. I think the earlier ones were 8 inches, and I put an 8 5/8, I believe is the size inch boot on. So it just never sealed up quite right. Not one of my funner things to do, because it's kind of one of those things you just never know how it's going to roll out. Or at least I don't do enough of them that I'm just absolutely confident in one surefire way to do it. So I got to do that, and then hopefully I can kick this thing on and let her do its thing, and hopefully it won't be near as bad. I've said that before. There she is over there. It's where we're headed. Some of the things I need here. Okay, so I got the old boot off. Sorry I didn't get that filmed. I don't have a mount for me out here, and Valley Irrigation doesn't make it very vlogger friendly. They don't put cell phone mounts to vlog this stuff out here, so you're gonna have to bear with me. Here's what it looks like in between. Just these two pipes are joined by a rubber boot, rubber hose gasket type thing. So what I'm gonna do is lube this up kind of with like a conduit lube is what I like to use, just because it's not grease. You just want to make it slick as possible to give you the best beds. So I'll go get that stuff down there. Oh, that's what I use, or have. It's just cable pulling lube. So this is where I'm at so far. Just kind of give you a little update. As you can see, I'm getting one side put on. It's starting to slide on, but I still got this bent. It's tight, folks. These stink, especially if you want to use the rough terrain ones that go from here to here, because in these hills, when they flex, they'll slip on the shorter cut boots, and then it's back to square one. But yeah, you kind of work with what you get given to you on these, or at least I do. So I'm trying to ratchet strap this to kind of pull it back up onto there. Then I should be able to pull this one down. Sorry if I can't see it very well. Slide that on. Okay. These kind of have a tendency to wear you out. Got her though. Like I said, it's the rough terrain boot, so they're a little, I don't know, to me they're a little tougher to get in there because you don't have much room for air. I just need to put the boot bands on it, and then I should be done with this particular job. All right, got that nonsense done. Now on to the next. I usually match them up, but for some reason I work better for me to do that one that way. So here's what we're up to now. These are the strainers I was talking to you about that will go on line, that will hopefully protect the nozzles that I'm replacing. I'm putting this nozzle on top of this guy because there is no filtration coming through here. It's just a regulator to regulate that pressure coming out of there, so it's distributed evenly throughout the pivot. Because if you don't have those regulators on, when you start to go up and down these hills, your pressure in the pivot will not be equal. You'll have less on the higher pipes, and then in the bottoms you'll have more pressure. So these regulators kind of help distribute the pressure throughout the pivot more equally, and that's kind of what they try to do. But what I'm trying to do is to get something filtered so we're not having to unplug these doodads and having streaks through our field. Because let's be honest, nobody likes it when I streak. Got it fired up. It's kind of what we like to see. Call the ball. I'm out of here. All right, that's what I was looking for. So this is one of the fields my brother irrigates, takes care of. But I was looking for this guy so I can blade along my pipe. Gonna document that I actually checked the oil in Tom's tractor. Good. Checklist complete.
Start to make some choices, but they've taken the edge off this thing big time. Maybe not from an old crop standpoint, but new crop for sure. I mean, they did some pretty good short damage last week. They're kind of showing you what side they are. They're taking.
The GOP-dominated district. Former U.S. Representative Jeff Fortenberry will learn today in Los Angeles courtroom whether he'll get prison time.
So the main reason I blade along the pipe is just to make sure that the rows will go into the field and not back out onto the road. And it smooths up the road so you can drive along there a little faster. So I'm back out on the pivot that we're putting these strainers in. Like earlier I had different ones. I was at the local place and they had these, which is something kind of new, I think. So we're trying these out along with the other ones. These seem a lot more simple and basic, but I guess we'll try to see what these go. Like I said, these go right inside here, right above. We're still using the existing regulator where the other one replaces the regulator. Like I said, this is a 10 pound or 10 psi regulator, which controls how much pressure is coming through that nozzle when this pivot fills up. So this one here, we just unscrew this doohickey. Doing this one-handed. You just screw this guy in top here, and then we'll shove him up there, and hopefully he filters it just like that. So far, I ran this around once so far with the other ones, and none of them plugged up yet. So add more of these. There's like another tower too that I need to have on it, because with these smaller nozzles closer to the pivot point, it tends to plug them up quicker. So we're gonna try this. So I had my brother-in-law come out here and weld on those little cracks in the pipe. So hopefully now it won't be quite so bad. And there she goes. I was driving by the field here. Remember the one where we were slotting in on the hillside? For those of you a couple videos ago, because it got washed out over here. We had some heavy rains during planting that just washed out our strip till on our side hills. I'm just going to show you what it kind of looks like if we can see it from here. I don't know if you can kind of see the line right there. It's starting to blend in pretty good. Obviously, if you were to walk out there, it's probably, maybe a foot short. Maybe not quite a foot, but it's a little shorter. But from here, it's not looking too terrible. There's a field way over there, but this phone ain't gonna be able to shoot that. So some things are turning around, some things aren't. I'm gonna wrap it up here because it's getting ready to be the 4th of July weekend. Guys, I hope you have a great 4th of July. If you're a veteran, I really appreciate what you fought for our freedoms. And just God bless you all, and we will see you on the next one. Later.